Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Team Zoom. It's Monday night, April the 2nd. That's just amazing. And this is Julie White, and so excited that you could all join us tonight. We're going to be sharing about our compensation highlights, and it's a little form. I'm going to bring it up on the screen here in a minute. And David Beisner, Pro 5 with LifeVantage, he's going to be helping also to share about this compensation plan highlight sheet. So I'm going to pull that up right now so we can all look at this together. Okay, David, can you see that sheet?
I can.
Awesome. All righty. So we're going to get started on this. I think this is so important for us to understand some of the basics of this. And you can find this sheet in your library, in your virtual office, or when you go to your website or lifevantage.com. And if you go to that opening page, scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a little section in tiny print called Resources. And this is one of the resources that's listed there. It's LifeVantage Compensation Plan Highlights. So this is just the basics. We're not going to go deep into depth tonight on the comp plan. However, at the end, we will take time for some questions. But I want to make sure that everyone at least understands the basics of this. So we're going to start here with the enrollment options. And David, you know, we can kind of, you know, go back and forth on this. So how about you share a little bit about the different enrollment options, and then I'll start on the Smart Start bonus.
Okay, are you speaking about the distributor opportunity packs?
Yes, right there under enrollment options where it says purchases and the PV.
Sure. So the personal volume that you would receive if you enrolled somebody with a silver pack, gold pack, or platinum, you see that as $250, $500, and $1,000 respectively. If somebody enrolls with a $50 kit, you get nothing, which, let me say, I can't think of one person that's been enrolled with a star kit in my business center that's ever really done anything except maybe enroll a couple of customers. And it's fine if somebody wants to do that. I personally like to stay away from enrolling people with a star kit. But you can see that right there on the top, on the right side of the page there. What else would you like me to say about that?
The only other thing about the start kit is that if they do order any products with it, you know, we get 40% back on whatever products they purchase.
Right, absolutely correct. And you know, if one of my distributors, you know, really wants to enroll somebody with a star kit, I strongly encourage them to have them at least order a Vitality Stack. That way they're getting the free shipping and they're getting the foundational products that we offer.
Right. Very good. And then you want to go over the other packages?
You mean the other payouts?
The silver, the gold, the platinum.
Oh, okay. So with a silver, if you enroll somebody, you're going to get 40% of that, and with a gold and platinum as well. Of course, if your personal volume is where it needs to be. Now, there's some newer distributors, they'll enroll a distributor with a silver, gold, or platinum, and they have until Sunday midnight of that same week in order to get their personal volume up to where it needs to be, if they have not had a history of auto ships that will take care of that personal volume. They don't have to have the shipment done, but they just have to be on record as having auto shipments that cover that 1 or 200, depending on what kind of payout they want, 30 or 40% respectively with those. But if they don't, for some reason, sometimes newer distributors don't. If they don't, for some reason, they have until midnight that Sunday at the end of that week that they enroll somebody in order to get their personal volume up. With a platinum, of course, the payout is 40% of that, which is 400. With a gold, it's 200, and with a silver, it's 100.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Uh, what I really love about the platinum pack is that 1,000 PV that we get with that, because we can grow our businesses so much quicker. So that definitely is the best way for people to join and the best way to duplicate your business. So, and then the gold is the 500 PV and the silver is 250 PV. So if someone does come in on a lower package, like say someone just gets the Star Kit and the Vitality Stack, or maybe they get the Star Kit and Vitality and Beauty System, if that's the case, they should be working to upgrade as soon as possible. And same way with the silver pack, you can upgrade, to the platinum pack as soon as possible. So thank you, David. And so now I want to talk a little bit on the left side about the Smart Start bonus, which David mentioned a little bit. We get 30% payout if when we enroll a new customer or a distributor, and say our PV is just between 100 and 199. We're only going to get 30% of that bonus. So to get the full bonus, we need 200 plus PV, and the full bonus is 40%. So this is why we always say the 200 PV is so important. And I know many people teach that we try to increase our PV every month. And what our PV actually is our personal order, and then also our personally enrolled customers. So this does not include any customers that somebody may have graciously placed under you. This is only the customers that you've enrolled, and also your personal order. And along with that, I just want to remind everyone that a personal order has to be a minimum of 40 PV. So it does not go by dollar amount. It goes by PV, and you have to check that very carefully because there's not too many things that are 40 PV. I know both the Pro Tandems are 40 PV, but you want to make sure, because if you do not have a personal order of at least 40 PV, you will not get paid anything. So that's very important to make sure everybody understands that. And then just to reiterate, when you enroll a new customer or a new distributor, if you want to get the maximum of your compensation, your maximum bonus, you have to have at least 200 PV. And so that's going to be your personal order and personally enrolled customers. If you don't have any personally enrolled customers, you can have a 200 PV order and you will qualify. Okay, anything to add to that, David?
Nope, you covered it.
Okay, great. We're going to briefly go over the launch bonus. Now, in order to qualify for the launch bonus, you have to be at the key rank of Pro 3. That's our key rank in our company. And we just love this new Paysetter program that is encouraging everyone to get to Pro 2 and Pro 3 within their first 90 days. And then that's going to qualify you for this launch bonus, which is, it's a very nice bonus. It's basically what you get when someone who you've enrolls another distributor. So you can see here the different cases. We have the platinum, the gold, and the silver. David, did you want to talk a little bit, explain this a little bit?
Sure. So when Karen Leskinen rank advances to Pro 3, any distributor that she has under her who enrolls someone with a platinum pack, the company is going to say, great job enrolling this person and helping them to develop their business, Karen. We're going to pay you an additional $50 on top of what we've already paid your distributor. And then when Molly Hull rank advances to Pro 5, she's also going to get a payout like that, but her Pro 3s are going to get 50, and then the company is going to pay Molly Pro 5 as well. I love that every time I enroll a new platinum, the company sends Julie White $50 as well. Not only does it pay me $400 for my personally enrolled platinum distributor, but then it looks up who's the first Pro 7 up the line, and that's Julie White. So they're going to pay Julie White $50 as well. Now, a couple of years ago, before Julie rank advanced to Pro 7, when she was still a Pro 6, the company would look for Mark and Krista Harris and pay them. But I'll guarantee you that Mark and Krista are delighted to surrender that $50 bonus to Julie because they know that as Julie develops into even better leader than she is right now, and certainly better than she was 2 years ago. Although you were wonderful back then, Julie, you continue to grow and develop, and that's what's so inspirational about you. One of the things that's so inspirational about you. But your upline is delighted to surrender that payout because it means that there's leaders being developed underneath them. I have a distributor who's just about ready to rank advance to Pro 5, and so that as her business is growing underneath her, I'm going to miss out on that payout that heretofore I've been getting, and I'm delighted that she's going to be getting it. So that just helps encourage me to get to Pro 7. Not that I want to steal money from Julie, but I'd like the company to pay me $50 instead of Julie, as much as I appreciate her.
And you know, when that happens, David, I will be super excited, that you'll be getting that bonus.
I know you will. And then you can see what happens there. And then you can see what happens in the respective ranks or the respective distributor packs of gold and silver. It's pretty simple right there. And even the Pro 10s get a little bit, the executives and the presidentials get a little bit less. But as you are in those upper ranks, you have logarithmically more distributors than you had as a Pro 5, 6, or 7, 8, 9. So you're just delighted that the company is paying the people underneath you more than they're paying you for each individual enrollment.
Very good, David. Thank you so much. And what I wanted to mention to everyone is that this the Smart Start bonus and the launch bonus, they are paid out every Friday. So those are the weekly bonuses, and then we go into the royalty commission. Did you say something, David?
No, somebody else is unmiked or unmuted.
Oh, okay. Please mute your microphones because I actually can't see anybody's microphone with this sheet up here. So yeah, the royalty commission is our residual income, and that's what we get paid on the 15th of every month. So I want you to just be a little familiar with this, and don't be worried if you don't ever understand every little detail of the compensation plan, because as you're growing and as you're achieving new ranks and new goals, it's going to make more sense to you when you actually receive these bonuses yourself. But what I want you to really be aware of, one of the really big things is what it says under there, your minimum monthly PV. So we see all the ranks across the top, and then the next line down, it says minimum monthly PV. And that's what I want you to be really, really aware of, and aware of for your team. Like at the end of every month after our last auto ship goes on the 25th, you want to go in your virtual office and you want to check to make sure that your team members have qualified for their monthly minimum PV. So here you can see what it is for the different ranks. Now, the 200 is what you need to receive your Smart Start bonus. But for the residual income, if you're a Pro 1, 2, or 3, and you have 100 PV, you're going to get this royalty commission. But then when you get to Pro 4, you need, from there on up, you always need the 200 PV to get this payout. So I think this is just a little bit confusing sometimes. but I want everyone to really work in understanding this. And if you don't, for some reason, understand it right now, you know, go over, I'm recording this so you can go over this. You can talk to your upline. So for this royalty commission, again, for people to receive it, they have, if they're Pro 1, 2, or 3, you can see there they need 100 PV. And then Pro 4 and up, they need at least 200 PV. And then under that, you can see the organizational volume that's needed for each of the ranks. And, you know, Pro 1 is 1,000. That's in your organizational or group volume, same thing. And then Pro 2 is the 2,500. Pro 3 is 5,000. Pro 4 is 10,000, and then on up. And then right under that, you can see the leg requirements. And then under that, you can see the percentage of the breakdown of what you need in the different legs. And then, David, do you want to talk a little bit about our, you know, our third level there? That's the 9%.
Yeah. This is very important to understand this. If you're treating this like a business rather than a hobby, and remember, a hobby, you pay money to do it. A business, if you learn it, if you're coachable and teachable, you can make money. So this is important. You wouldn't go and take a college course and not do your homework. This is part of your homework. It took me a while to understand our compensation plan to the extent I do. And honestly, I've forgotten more than I remember. Well, I remember the important things to help me grow, but there's little nuances that we're not going to go into tonight, but it's important to know those as well as you continue to rank advance. So, so you'll notice that on the first level, we paid 2%. That means everybody on your front line, the company pays you 2% residually on their subsequent orders. The first month that they order, you get paid a 30 or 40% commission, depending on where your personal volume is. And then in subsequent months on their auto ships or subscription orders, you get paid 2%. Now, everybody on your second level, you get paid 5%, and then third is the 9%. This is really unprecedented for most multi-level marketing companies, where the company has structured our compensation plan in such a way that we're paying people, we're rewarding mid-level distributors more so, we're giving them a higher percentage payout more so than we're giving you know, people who are elite or master ranks. This is really key. So you can do the math on this. If you have somebody on your 9th level, not only are you, or your 3rd level, not only are you getting paid 9% for their specific order, but then as that rolls up through the 2nd and 1st level, you're getting another 5 plus 2% as well. So you're getting a total of 16% payout from the 3rd level. So there are times when I may feel moved, you know, to place a customer underneath a distributor. If you look on my graphic tree, especially early on when I was building the business, most of my personally enrolled customers were on my 3rd line. Yeah. Now, there's different philosophies in teaching this. That's for a quicker way to get paid out. Tyler Daniels, he'll say, just put everybody on your front line because you never know who's going to become a distributor, and we're not a welfare system here. So that's Tyler's philosophy. He's extremely successful in this. I have a little bit of different philosophy, but you do your business according to the way that you feel like to do. Julie, is there anything else that you wanted to mention about that?
Just the only thing, and please mute your lines if they aren't muted, but the only thing I would say is it is financially, it's an advantage to have your customers on your 3rd level to get that 9%. However, if they do become a distributor, you know, then that's pretty much where they are. But you are going to get a better payout there, you know, having them on your 3rd level. But like David said, you know, it's totally up to you. But when you do enroll someone, you have 30 days to place them. After the 30 days, if you decide that you want to move someone, you have to fill out a form that requires 9 signatures from your upline, and you have to pay between $25 and $100 to have someone moved in your organization. So just wanted to mention that. And then we have the generational matching bonus, which is a powerful part of our compensation plan. This is a good thing to point out to people when you are sharing information with a prospect, because this is like I said, it's quite powerful. Basically, when you enroll, every person that you personally enroll, you're going to receive 10% of their residual income. And then you can see there are 4 more levels of people that are enrolled under them. You're going to receive 5% of their residual income. So this ends up to be, one of the greatest payouts in our compensation plan. And however, for this, you also need to be a Pro 3 or above, and you also need to have your 200 PV. So, and then we have our elite pool. David, do you want to share a little bit about the elite pool?
Yes, this is enormous. And this is one of the highlights of my presentation for people who are business minded and want to know more about doing the business. So the company takes 4% of all gross sales worldwide, and they set that aside. Then they divide it up into 4 quadrants, and you can see how that's there. The first quadrant, they share 1%, so that's 4% divided 4 ways in 4 different quadrants. So 1% is divided up between the Pro 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now you might think, well, gosh, that's divided 4 ways. That's only 1/4%. That's 1/4% of worldwide gross sales profits. That's huge. Or gross sales. It's not even the profits. It's not the net. It's gross. It's all of the sales worldwide for that month. They divide that up 4 ways, and then the 7, 8, and 9, they split that. That's 1/4% of all gross sales for the previous month. That is enormous. When I'm sure Julie can tell you, I know Mark Harris, when he told me he got his first elite pool check, they were blown away. They were blown away by how much that was. And then you can see how they divide up those other that other 3% respectively, another percent, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so the 8, 9s, and 10s are double dipping there. So they're getting not only from that first quadrant in the upper left-hand corner, but on the right upper hand corner, they're also getting another dip into that. Then in the lower left-hand corner, the 9s and 10s are sharing this. Can you imagine what kind of check that would be for the 9s and 10s to share 0.5%? In addition to the other quadrants that they're dipping from. And then in the final lower right-hand corner quadrant, Pro 10s, executive, and presidentials share another percent. I mean, that's enormous. That's a huge bonus for your monthly check. It's a powerful incentive to rank advance to elite status.
Very good. Yes, and we all love this elite pool as well, because it creates a lot of unity in our company. Yeah. Because when you get to that level, you are actually being rewarded for everyone in the whole company. And so it really encourages people to work with other teams and to help their cross lines and just everybody working together. And so we love that. We love the culture of our company. It's just a beautiful culture of honor, and we're just like a big happy family. So that's what I'm going to cover. There's some fine print under here, numbers 1 through 6. I would encourage you just to go over them. They are things that I believe we've mentioned all of them in our presentation tonight. But if you want to read those, go over those details, I would encourage you to do that. And now I'm going to take this, stop this share, and going to go to just a few minutes of questions. Okay, does anybody have a question this evening?
I do, Julie.
Okay.
It's Bev. That question about if somebody does upgrade to a platinum, like that's what I did after a few months. What is the cut from that? Is that just the normal sales commission at that point? But there's no royalty or extras on that on an upgrade.
Your enrollment, the person who enrolled you will get a bonus for that.
Okay, an upgrade.
You know what that is, David? Because I'm not even sure exactly what it is.
Yeah. So when you upgraded to a platinum, the person who enrolled you got the same bonus that they would have if you had enrolled right away as a platinum. So if you have a customer who decides they want to do the business and they want to go all in and they want to, treat it professionally, and they go with a platinum, you're still going to get the $400 bonus for that.
Okay, but how about if someone like Bev, she enrolled with the silver pack and then upgraded to the platinum? So
yeah, there is an additional. I forget what it was, but I don't know if they're doing those upgrades anymore. Once in a while, they'll do them. Are they still doing them now?
Yes, you can upgrade. Yep.
Oh, okay.
They're doing the upgrades, and I know you get something for them in the way of a bonus, but I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
How that works out.
I think it's still 40% of whatever additional product,
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense. It would be the 40%. Okay, good question, Bev. Anybody else have a question? Any other questions?
Let me say while somebody's thinking of a question, I encourage you after today to go onto go onto YouTube and type in LifeVantage Compensation Plan 2017. And then our sales guy, what's his name, Dave Fleming, he goes over this whole compensation plan again, and it's good to see this. Again, it took me a long time to have a working understanding of our comp plan. The business is simple, but it takes hard work. The compensation is not a simple plan, but it does pay you very well. And it's important to know this. And especially if you're prospecting people who have a little bit of a business acumen, they already have a successful business, you want to be able to answer some of the basic questions about our comp plan. And the more you get to learn it, the more you'll appreciate how good it is. And that will also encourage you and motivate you to continue to rank advance as you see the multiple ways our company pays us as distributors when we work hard. And then you'll be able to attract a higher level of prospect with the knowledge that you have of the comp plan. Now, you don't ever start throwing out intricacies of our comp plan when you're first presenting this to somebody unless they start asking specific questions about it. Just as you won't vomit all the science that you know about our products, you don't vomit all the intricacies of our comp plan unless they show and express a desire to know it.
Right, and that would be a good place for a three-way call, or to point them even to one of those videos that you talked about on YouTube. One of the other things that I wanted to mention, well, a couple things. First, another thing that I love about LifeVantage is that they really want to make a good name for our industry of network marketing. And so they designed our compensation plan with that in mind, which is one of the reasons why they have the 9% payout on the third level, where virtually everyone can reach that pretty quickly. And so, because one of the complaints is that people at the top make all the money, and that's not the case in our company. We have a very fair compensation plan, and it rewards people early on who are just getting started. And then with this Pacemakers program, which we didn't cover tonight, that is another really great thing. If you're not familiar with the Pace Setters program, Pace Setters, excuse me.
Not Pacemakers.
Yeah, Pace Setters. So if you're not familiar with that, make sure that you are, because this is something that we want to be teaching every new person and helping them to achieve, the rank of Pro 2 their first 30 days. And so with that, I also wanted to share one other thing, and that is when you get to the rank of Pro 5, David, when you got to the rank of Pro 5, did you open a second business center?
I absolutely did. Now, I was encouraged not to do it unless I was going to really work it and get it moving. And I'm like, are you kidding? Of course I am. And of course I'm going to work it and get it moving. And I'm so glad I did, because everything I earned under my second business center, of course, I'm getting paid twice on. I'm getting paid just on the residual, not on the bonuses. But I get paid all the residual underneath. It gets paid to my second business center. And then, of course, I get that extra 2%. Well, I get not just 2%, but I get all of that volume paid again from my first business center.
That's right. And then when you get to Pro 6, you get a third business center.
Mm-hmm.
And so the company gifts those to us, and it's just a way of expanding. I heard today I think it was today actually, I heard that one of the Pro 10s, actually it was one of the Pro 10s, they have in their first business center, they're a Pro 10. In their second business center, they're a Pro 7. And in their third business center, they're almost a Pro 7. So you can see how, that can really, help us with our residual income. So.
And then my understanding is that when you're Pro 10, you can get a fourth business center.
Okay. I've never heard about that one. So
yeah.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any other questions here tonight? Questions or comments?
I have another one.
Okay.
Could you go into a little more detail about the percentage breakdown of the legs? Exactly what those all mean there.
Okay. Well, like for Pro 1, you only need one leg. For Pro 2, you can have more than 2 legs, but you have to have a minimum of 2 legs. And the smallest leg has to be, at least there has to be 20% outside the 80%. So, and then you can see the breakdown there. The Pro 3 is also 80-20, Pro 4 is 80-20. And then when you get to Pro 5, you have to have 3 legs, and that is broken down 60-30-10. So one of the things in this business is that we want to make sure we stay balanced. And so that's why we, build in our BC1 very well before we go to our BC2. And so by balance means you don't want to have, everybody in one leg, or you're not going to be able to rank up to Pro 2. For Pro 2, you have to have at least 500 in volume in that second leg. And then for Pro 3, the outside leg has to have at least 1,000. And then Pro 4, the outside leg has to have, or volume has to have 2,000. So that's kind of how that works.
And this is so important to understand this, because I probably have a half a dozen people who could rank advanced to the next level if they were balanced. They have so much volume coming up through one leg, and they just haven't paid attention. They weren't paying attention to teaching from their leaders. And so they've got so much volume in one leg. I've got one guy who's got over 15,000 in one leg, and he's got about 300 outside of that one leg. He could, if he balanced out, he could be a Pro 5, basically, if he had 5,000 outside that primary leg. But so that outside volume, when it says 80-20, only a maximum of 80% that you get paid on can come from one leg. And that 20% is comprised of anything outside of that primary leg, including, but not limited to, your personal order as well. So in those lower ranks, it's important to understand that as well, that sometimes you just get an extra vitality stack, and that puts you into Pro 2.
I'm sorry.
So, any other questions? All right, you guys are comp plan experts now.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for being so attentive tonight. And thank you, David, for doing a great job of sharing with us, and just appreciate it. So I'm going to stop the recording here.
All right.
All righty.
Hey, thanks for going over the comp plan.